Because time's going.
Right.
And then not
Tamar,
drop the
could you give us your views on plagiarism within the fashion industry and touch upon Israel, even in England? Thank you.
So in Israel, it's where I come from and where I work. There were a few cases of some designer that accused other designer for copying and using the same designs. I think, from what I saw, that some of the designers were usually used the media for just to trash one another.
So they didn't go through the court system.
No, they actually didn't go up that high, but to use the social media just to show picture and trash one another. And I think that in one point, when I saw some of the images that the one designer showed that another designer copied from her, it seems very vague. It's not something very substantial that you can actually accuse someone from that. It seems like it's quite a small industry in Israel, so we're using, it's not like, we're going to a cave and we sit there and we design and we just, think about it and disconnected from the rest of the world. We're all using quite the same inspiration boards, and we follow whatever trends are and whatever colors are in style and so on. So it actually makes sense for designers to have some kind of similarity between their designs. So I actually find it, when I saw some designer, that when I saw the designs, that that looks a little familiar, maybe something that I had last season or so on. So I actually feel a little flattered by that, because it seems like, you saw my design, you felt it's inspiring enough for you to create your own creation for that. So there's enough for everyone, just enjoy it and celebrate it, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you. And what about, so you're saying just on the internet, that's where it was resolved. So what about the big ones though, who making millions? Do you think that if that should happen, how can this small person, get something back?
In terms of money, compensation?
I think it's, in this specific industry, it's quite a problematic thing, because I think most fashion designers, especially when they just started, when they're still young and new in the industry, they are striving for any publicity or any things that will caught the attention of the public. So in case of some major designer that copying what they design, and sometimes they will be even willing to give it for free just for to be exposed to the public. But I think they should have some kind of compensation to the designer that had the original idea. The problem is that it's very difficult to actually determine that this is an actual copying one-to-one, because I think it's up to the stitch, the size of the stitch and the size of the millimeter that can actually determine if it's a copying or not. And also if it's a print that is being used. There were some cases of prints, and I think in this case it's much more obvious that there is some kind of copying. And they should have some kind of a percentage compensation, in my opinion.
And in terms of that, how do you see, for example, young fashion graduates coming out, thriving, craving to be taken up, that they're vulnerable? Could you see what change could you see happen in the industry from, for example, from the university level to inform young and up-and-coming designers? Could you see a solution in that? In talking about ethics and plagiarism, do you see a way of helping them? I know it's a big
Yeah.
question because it's
No,
not really down to you, but what is your
yeah.
viewpoint on that?
Yeah, ethic-wise, yeah, that's not okay. But there is no right or wrong in
the
fashion industry, of course. Yeah, I think they should be. In my opinion, they should celebrate their design. They should not hide it and wait for the last minute. And I think more designers, like big designers, are presenting. They're doing like they're showing their collection and immediately go to wholesalers and retailers. So to avoid the fact that someone can actually use their designs and so on. But for small designers, I think there's, in the time being, I don't know if there's anything they should do with that. Yeah, I just hope they will continue be relevant and creative and breaking the rules.
Can you just say which school did you study at? The name of your college where you did your course or got your qualification designed in?
I studied in it's like a college called the 6B in Israel, in Tel Aviv.
Is it quite well known outside of Israel?
No,
in Israel is one of them.
No, it's quite small. It's most used for people that already has some kind of career and they want to do some kind of change or some with design. It can go also for interior design or.
And could you just touch on what you're doing now and the diversifying of your skills that you're transferring over? So could you just say what you're doing now, or could you just give us a little test there?
Will you go back to the fashion, or is fashion or what you did then? You're growing in this.
That's a good
your
question.
creativity.
So yeah, and now I'm studying an MA in Central St. Martin, Applied Imagination in the Creative Industries, with my friend and so yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to continue with being a fashion designer, and it's very difficult and hard work. But I want to maintain the creativity and I want to maintain my orientation with textile and clothing and fabrics. So it's something that I would like to maintain as part of my my past or whatever I'm going to work with.
It's all on the journey of creativity, life experience. Tamar, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your viewpoints.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finished.
Yeah.